Big YouTube drama as Sam Hyde humiliates iDubbbz. So long story short, iDubbbz, Ian, who used to make funny, edgy content, but then caved in like everyone else after mass demonetization and the mob took over, visited banned comedy legend Sam Hyde under the auspices of making a fair and balanced documentary. But Hyde and his team knew from the start that this was a bad faith claim and that Ian was there to make a hit piece. iDubbbz is apparently trying to rebrand himself as this Louis Theroux type figure, by going around pointing a camera at odious, offensive figures and then trying to put them in awkward, embarrassing situations. But what ended up happening was that Sam and his team trolled iDubbbz to such perfection, maintaining character throughout the entire endeavour, that Ian was the only one who ended up looking awkward and embarrassed.
Security, obviously.
Right.
Let's get some fresh air.
And 8 months later, he still refused to release any of the footage. Ian's Louis Theroux act didn't work because, unlike the targets of Louis Theroux, Sam Hyde isn't odious, obnoxious, or hateful. He's funny and genuine. But during a sit-down interview, Ian tried to get Sam to disavow his fan base and grilled him on his supposed alt-right proclivities.
Why did you choose to make a documentary about me?
Well,
basically, it seemed like Ian wanted to squeeze some content out of and have a laugh at Sam Hyde for having fell off, but only ended up holding up a mirror to prove that iDubbbz himself had fell off. Having once been the king of original edgy content, he's now reduced to being another hall monitor for the regime. I mean, this is a guy who literally shot to fame by trying to make celebrities say the N-word. Now he's henpecking at Sam Hyde for his supposedly racist comedy.
like open mics you've done in the past that are like really offensive.
Give me a break. Sam Hyde was banned, deplatformed, cancelled, because he refused to sell out. He refused to amplify the message. And it seems obvious that Ian's deep-seated insecurity and self-loathing at having failed to resist being absorbed by the mob was part of the motivation for this hit piece. The origin story of Ian's resentment towards Sam was also revealed to be a grudge over a 7-year-old contested copyright claim.
You're an asshole.
I'm sorry, buddy. That's no good.
Yeah, why'd you do that to me?
Although the endorsement of his girlfriend's OnlyFans page was both hilarious but simultaneously mortifying, you could be generous towards Ian and say that his drift towards the toxic mainstream was driven by frustration at his inability to platform on YouTube the kind of content he was making in the mid-2010s. But the same forgiveness can't be extended to Ethan Klein or Anthony Fantano.
Is Anthony Fantano.
That guy sucks.
Klein and Fantano made the deliberate, conscious decision to pander to the mob by espousing far-left drivel and ingratiating themselves with the Silicon Valley establishment. Fantano shat his pants after a single fader hit piece and then proceeded to delete all his collaborative content with Sam Hyde and throw his friend under a bus, before going on to rapaciously celebrate the deplatforming and banning of anyone who didn't kiss his arse. While the once much loved and respected Ethan Klein ditched his anti-SJW shtick as soon as the wind changed direction, started sucking up to Susan Wojcicki, and now intermittently broadcasts his moronic normie political takes to prove to his new masters that he holds the correct high-status opinions. And whenever he's called out on his galaxy-brained drivel by people like Steven Crowder, he literally runs away from the debate and gets other people to fight his corner, while most recently facing utter humiliation for beefing with Joe Rogan over health issues, while, let's just say, not being in the best shape himself. While iDubbbz may have sold out, Fantano and Klein not only sold out, they became vicious establishment grifters who weaponized their platforms to try to destroy their critics with full establishment support. Which is why it's funny that Sam Hyde, despite being completely ostracized and deplatformed, still makes them all look like utter clowns on a regular basis. While it still remains on YouTube, watch the full Sam Hyde documentary in the description below.